Welcome to Rewrite Rising, podcast where you can rewrite your health journey and rise above your past. I'm Drew, sharing Mindset Mondays to ground and guide you, thriving Thursdays to cut through the noise and bring clarity to nutrition. If you find these conversations helpful or think someone else would enjoy them too, make sure that you are subscribed. Whether you're tuning into YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, feel free to share them along the way. All right, let's get into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rewrite Rising. So today we're going to go in a deep dive into something we all encounter every single time we go to the grocery store. Ready? Food labels. So specifically, we're actually going to expose those fun buzzwords, natural, organic, sugar-free, what they really mean. And we see these labels everywhere, and they often make us feel like we're making a healthier choice, but are we? We're going to look at what the research says, break it all down, and by the end of the episode, you'll be a much more empowered shopper, okay? So let's just dive this down in parts, right? Part one, the natural label. It's not what you think, okay? Let's start with one of the most common and frankly most confusing labels out there, natural. And you see it on everything from chicken, granola bars, to soda. Sound about right? It brings to mind the images of farms, sunshine, and wholesome goodness. But what does it actually mean according to the food regulators, right? Food regulators, I gotta speak. Well, this is where it gets murky. So the Food and Drug Administration, better known as the FDA, has a long-standing but very informal process. Essentially, natural means that nothing artificial or synthetic has been added to the food that you wouldn't normally expect to be there. So what does that not cover? A lot. The FDA's policy doesn't address how much the food was processed. This means that the product can still be labeled as natural, being grown using pesticides, containing genetically modified organisms or GMOs, comes from animals raised on hormones and antibiotics. So because the definition is extremely loose, a lot of products can carry this label. In 2018, foods labeled natural accounted for over 16% of retail food spending in the US, and that's more spending than foods labeled USDA organic. Problematic, right? Yeah, it is. And the problem is that most of us don't actually know this. So numerous studies have found that consumers often misunderstand the labels and equate natural with being healthier or better for the environment or indicating good animal welfare. By the way, cage-free is a piece of paper 8x11. That's how much space a chicken got. Let's throw that out there. The misunderstanding can actually cost you money. You might pay a premium for the natural label, thinking that you're actually getting a health benefit that is not actually guaranteed. So like the next time you see all natural on a package, take it with a grain of salt. Pun intended. It mainly means the product was minimally processed and has no artificial additives. It's not a statement about the health or the farming practices, okay? Now, part two, the organic label. For regulated term, it's literally what it is, okay? So, unlike natural, organic is highly, highly regulated. The FDA itself doesn't regulate the term organic. Instead, this job actually belongs to USDA, also known as the United States Department of Agriculture, through its National Organic Program. So for food products to carry the USDA organic seal, its producer has to follow very strict government standards, okay? These standards cover everything from soil quality, pest control, to animal raising practices, all right? Like, that's a big deal. So any food labeled organic must comply with both the USDA Organics rules and the FDA Journal of Food Labels and Safety Regulations. So when you see that USDA Organic seal, it means that something actually happened and it's very specific. It is not a marketing gimmick. Now, if you want to know the nitty-gritty details about the USDA's National Organic Program website, has all of the actual information. The key takeaway here is that organic is verified, regulated claim, whereas natural It's not. Now, this one touches my heart a lot because I've had kind of a sugar addiction growing up. Um, in fact, if you're on YouTube, you can see I'm missing a tooth, which I am. I had to have it removed because of some severe damage that happened through growing up. I got a lot of cavities. I didn't. My teeth and genetics also play on top of that in the way I raised, and also was a severe sugar addict. Luckily, I didn't develop anything like Mountain Dew mouth, which could have actually happened to me if I continued my pattern. For people who don't know what Mountain Dew mouth is, it's where you've drank enough soda, Mountain Dew, um, Coca-Cola, something like that. But the reason why it's Mountain Dew mouth is because near the pirate plants where they actually do sell Mountain Dew, there are a lot of kids who are under the age of 18 whose teeth are completely brought in black and they have nothing. So, ready? Decoding sugar. Sugar-free, reduced sugar, no added sugar. Now, with the focus lately on reducing sugar on our diets, food companies have responded with a very much dizzying array of claims in their packages. It's extremely confusing. So let's break down the most common ones, such as the ones that are probably, let's just say, we're going to break down the ones that are defined by the FDA. All right. Sugar-free. Sounds simple, but it's a specific meaning. It means that one serving of the product contains less than 0.05 grams of sugar, and that includes both natural and added. Not really so sugar-free. Reduced or less sugar. This is a comparative claim. It kind of means that the product has like at least 25% less sugar than the regular version of their actual same product. The key point is it doesn't mean it's low in sugar. It's just lower than its original counterpart. So sugary cereal that slashes its sugar by 25% could still be extremely high in sugar. Another way to do this is to look at, even pasta sauce has it, reduced sugar pasta, or then you have like sugar-free pasta, reduced sugar pasta, regular pasta. Pasta sauce should not have that much freaking sugar in it, people. Um, there's no added sugar. So this one is actually pretty helpful, but often misunderstood. It means that no sugar, it means that no sugar or any ingredient containing sugar was added during processing. However, the product could still be very high in natural sugars. Think of a fruit juice with no added sugar label. All right, so let's see. What's a good one? Applesauce, apple juice. Those can be no added sugar, but they are already high in sugar. So if you take like 4 apples and try to eat them in one sitting, you're gonna get full pretty quick. But if you juice them, you're gonna get all that sugar intake. So juice is not always the best for you. Be careful on that. Water it down. Eat the apple. It just means that it might not have any extra sugar poured in. The natural sugar from it can be concentrated, and that can be extremely high. So how do we navigate this? The best tool you have is your nutrition facts panel. And luckily, thanks to a 2016 update, labels now separate total sugars from added sugars. It's actually a huge game changer because this allows you to see how many sugar is naturally occurring versus how much is put in during manufacturing. The American Heart Association recommends that we limit added sugar, and this label makes it much easier to track. I will do an entire episode on sugar, I promise. Get there. So, but why are you saying, Drew, why does this matter? Well, true knowledge is power. And the reason I say true knowledge is power is because we're in the age of information, quote unquote, right? And not all information is correct. Everything here is fact-based research and peer-reviewed. That's just the way it has to be. So you might be thinking, that's a lot to remember. It is. And you're right. Understanding nutrition labels isn't easy. In 2013 national survey actually found that many American adults struggle to interpret nutrition facts labels. For example, like 43% of people couldn't figure out the effect on the daily calorie intake from skipping one serving of ice cream. Even among college graduates, only about half could correctly answer all 4 questions about the label in the study. And this isn't about being good or bad at math. It's about having knowledge and the set of skills to use these tools effectively. And research just consistently shows that the more nutrition knowledge a person has, the more likely they're to use and understand food labels. And people with higher nutrition knowledge are better at focusing on important information and applying it to make healthier choices. And a better label understanding is linked to healthier diets, like drinking less soda, My teeth are better now. So what's the bottom line? Be skeptical of the natural label. It's largely a marketing term. You can trust the organic label because it's backed by strict enforced government standards. But if you do want to learn more, please go to the USDA website, look it up. It's actually kind of neat. Maybe one of these days I'll do a recording about that. And when it comes to sugar, look past the claims on the front of the box. Go straight to the nutrition facts panel, check the added sugar line, and get to the real story. Look, building overall health and eating patterns is most important thing, especially in this day and age of misinformation. But an informed consumer is a huge part of that. And the more you know, the better you can navigate the grocery store and make choices that are truly right for you and your family. So again, thanks for listening to Rewrite Rising. Remember, you don't have to get it all right. You just have to start. You write your health journey, rise above your past. New episodes drop every Monday and Thursday. So be there to follow, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time.